Welcome to This Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Gurton.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to This Daring Adventure. I know it's been a few minutes since my last episode, and I apologize for that. It was sort of an impromptu break, but I'm back. I spent 6 weeks in Nunavut in the Arctic in Canada, and it was a very special, very unique, very fun experience. Changed my life. Now I'm back at it, and on to my next adventure, which I will fill you in next time. But today, I did a newsletter or an email to my list a few weeks ago on Audacity. And I wanted to take the opportunity today to elaborate on that a little bit more and to put something out there that could reach some of you who aren't on my list. And this episode is about audacity, the audacity to want more. I think we've been taught to fear that word, audacity. And we use it in a fairly, not very complimentary way. If we use that word, it's not really a compliment. She had the audacity to say something. But what if we turned it into a compliment? Especially the way we think about ourselves. The audacity to leave. The audacity to ask for more money. The audacity to start over. The audacity to travel alone. The audacity to say no. The audacity to say yes. The audacity to want more. The audacity to make changes. It's almost as though somewhere along the way we've decided that a woman with desires, with wanting more, is wrong and dangerous. A woman who knows what she wants is intimidating. A woman who chooses herself is selfish. And I want to challenge all of that because I think audacity has gotten a bad rap. And I think audacity might be one of the most beautiful qualities a woman can cultivate. So let's go there, especially in midlife, especially after years, sometimes decades of being everything for everyone else, to putting everyone else first. I coach women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, women who are smart, capable, successful, strong, independent, women who have built careers, raised children, held families together, survived divorce, loss, betrayal, disappointment, and reinvention. And do you know what I see over and over again? Women who have become experts at taking care of everyone else except themselves. Women who have done everything that they were supposed to do, solve everyone else's problems, but who struggle to answer the question, what do you want? It's fascinating. They know what their partner wants, their boss wants, their children need, their parents expect, what society approves of. But when it comes to themselves, there's silence. They really don't have an idea. And they all laugh and say, I don't know. But here's what I've learned. Usually, they do know. They just haven't been honest enough with themselves to acknowledge it. Maybe they don't believe that they're allowed to want it. Maybe they want to move. Maybe they want to leave the relationship. Maybe they want to start the business. They want to write the book. They want to travel. They want to go back to school. They want to change careers. They want a different life. But the brain can be a bully, and it starts talking, and it will tell us, who do you think you are? You're too old. It's too late. What will people think? You're being selfish. You should be grateful, be practical, be sensible, be responsible. Don't rock the boat. And because we've been conditioned to believe that good women don't make other people uncomfortable, we abandon ourselves. We become women who wait. We wait until the children are older, until we lose weight, until the economy improves, the relationship gets better, until we have more money, until we feel confident. And I want to offer you something that completely changed my own life and the lives of so many of my clients. Confidence is not the prerequisite. Confidence is the reward. Our feelings come from our thoughts, not our circumstances. And I think this is one of the most freeing, most important ideas that we can understand. The circumstance is simple. You want something. That is neutral. Then your brain makes an interpretation. It offers thoughts. Like, it's selfish. I might fail. People will judge me. I can't handle disappointment. It's too late. And those thoughts create fear. The fear creates hesitation. We hold ourselves back. We don't take action. And then your brain points to the inaction and says, look, see, you were never that woman anyway. And this cycle can last for years, sometimes decades. But here's what I want to tell you. There is another way. We need to stop waiting to feel confident. You become willing to feel afraid, feel uncomfortable. I think we've misunderstood courage, and I think we've misunderstood audacity. Audacity is not arrogance. It's not ego. It's not walking into a room believing you're better than everyone else. That's not what we're talking about here. Audacity is quietly believing that your life belongs to you and believing that your desires are not mistakes. Audacity is trusting yourself enough to move before you have proof. And it isn't loud. I think social media has confused us, and it sends the wrong message. It makes it seem like bold women are always making announcements. They're always posting, they're proving, they're performing, showing off, whatever it is, but that's not what I see. The most audacious women I know are often very quiet. One day they simply decide, I'm applying for the job. I'm applying for the scholarship. I'm taking the trip. I'm having the conversation. I'm making the ask. I'm writing the book. I am moving. I am beginning again. There's no need for any committee meeting. There's no permission slip. There's no poll of family and friends. No waiting for the stars to align. It's a decision. It's intentional and it's deliberate. And then we get up and we start acting like the woman who made it. And I think that's what midlife offers us. It's a wake-up call. Life is not a dress rehearsal. And you realize that there may be another 20 years you could think about it, or you realize that postponement has a cost. And I have coached enough women to know something with absolute certainty. It's that most of us will not regret the things we've tried. We'll end up regretting the things we never gave ourselves permission to do. The business we never started, the degree we never pursued, the city we never moved to, the trip we never took, the relationship we never left, or the relationship that we never allowed ourselves to have. It's the dream we quietly carry for years, but keep putting on the back burner because we thought for some reason we didn't deserve it, we weren't worthy of it, it wasn't the right time, we need to earn it. But you do not need to earn the right to want something. You do not have to justify your dreams or your desires. You do not have to convince a jury that your desires are reasonable. You do not need a permission slip. Wanting something is enough. You do not have to justify it to anybody. And I know that may seem radical. We have been taught to explain ourselves, defend ourselves, apologize for ourselves, shrink ourselves. But what if we just stopped? What if this year you just had the audacity to trust yourself and go after what you want? Ask for it. Take the action. What if this is the year you stopped asking everyone else what they thought? Stopped waiting for certainty. What if you decided that fear is not a stop sign? The goal here is not to eliminate fear. The fear may always be there in some form or another. The discomfort will be there. The goal is to expand your capacity to feel it. And how do you do that? You have to feel it. Fear is not the problem. Discomfort is not the problem. Second guessing yourself is. Abandoning yourself is. Living a life that belongs to someone else is. Conforming. Doing the sensible thing when you don't want to is. And this is the work we do. Because it's not about necessarily more information. You already know what you want. You already know where you've been hiding. You already know the conversations you've been avoiding. You already know the dream you've been postponing. What you need is someone to show you that your brain is not telling you the truth. It's not helpful. You need someone to help you separate the fear from the fact. You need someone to teach you how to trust yourself again. You need someone who will not let you spend another decade waiting for permission. That's the work we do. Not fixing you because you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not turning into someone else. It's removing everything that convinced you to doubt yourself. You can feel fear and still move. You can disappoint someone without disappointing yourself. You may not know exactly how things will turn out, but trust yourself enough to find out. So, if you stopped waiting for permission, if you stopped waiting to feel ready, if you stopped believing you needed everyone else's approval, what would you do? What would you ask for? What would you begin? Who would you become? And then I want you to ask yourself one more question. What is one audacious step you can take this week? Not next year, not when you have more confidence, not when you feel more comfortable, not when you are more certain. This week. One email, one application, one conversation, one boundary, one decision, one brave little action that tells your brain, I trust myself. Because confidence isn't built by just thinking, but you want to take the action with it. Take a micro action. And the most audacious thing we can do for ourselves is stop waiting to be chosen and choose ourselves. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being willing to question the stories you've been handed. And keep going. I'll see you next week.